uh, uh, regarding corrected effect size changing to relative effect size. The feedback is I don't really understand the difference. I assume relative effect size is going to be more accurate. Wondering how this will affect our stats. Will it be going up or down? And if down, how can we provide a rationale for the reported drop in effect size?
Well, of course, all of these statistics depend on the sample that you're compared to. And the corrected effect size means that in the database, we had to do what's called a case mix adjustment. So we were always adjusting your effect size based on the severity of the clients that you saw. Now you're being compared in a slightly different way, and the likelihood is that some people, probably about half of the users, will notice a decline in their relative effect size. And they may notice the same decline in their simple effect size, the uncorrected effect size, as it might be called. And the reason for this is that we have a much larger database to compare you to. And therapists have been using feedback in that database, and guess what? The result is they're getting better. So what is average is increasing. It's sort of the same thing with every measure where we're comparing people. IQ rates, for example, have to constantly be adjusted upward because what is average in that field is on the rise. And so for some folks, given that we have a much larger database, a much more representative database, and because people are using outcomes, which we know improves their effect sizes, the average has begun to climb. That way, for that reason, we have to adjust the comparison that people are getting, and the outcomes are likely, the effect sizes are likely to drop a little bit. Relative effect size is, as the name implies, how are you compared to your relatives? Really, how your other therapists in the sample. And here, the average is 0. You're right at that mean response if you have a 0. And as I say, I'm guessing that about maybe half, maybe slightly less than that of the users will probably notice a decline to 0. Should you be alarmed by that? Heavens no. You shouldn't be alarmed by that, because remember, and as I often say in my workshops, average effects in psychological treatments are on par or better than most medical therapies. So psychotherapy that has average results has an effect size that is roughly equivalent to coronary artery bypass surgery. That's pretty good. So we shouldn't be worried about that.